decontaminated mind, to be able to inherit it more excellently within that kingdom. And we're going to see what contaminates the mind. We're going to speak of the second letter to the Corinthians. Are we all there? Yes. Therefore, since we have these promises, dear friends, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit, perfecting holiness out of reverence for God. You know that when I used to read this, but if our spirit is perfect, how can it be contaminated? And naturally, studying and seeing Paul's advice, I realized that it was referring to religious information that we've saved since childhood. So you have to decontaminate yourself. Before you used to say, God bless you. You decontaminated yourself and now you say blessed. Before you were contaminated and you said hallelujah. Now you don't dare say hallelujah because now you know that you are a child and property and the children say Abba Father. What we must ask ourselves, what contaminates us? What causes most harm? Look at it. Right there in the second letter to the Corinthians, look at what it says, chapter 4. In verse 4, look at what it says. In whom the God of this age has blinded the minds of the unbelieving, so as not to bring forth the illumination of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. So then the covenant that was given to Moses blinds your understanding so that you do not understand. That is why the law made nothing perfect. And it tells us right there that that covenant, when we read in the book of Corinthians, look at what it says in chapter 3. It says in verse 7, 3:7 of the second letter to the Corinthians. That is the context of the God of this age. Now, if the ministry of death, which was engraved in letters on stone, came with such glory, it was a ministry of death, that the Israelites could not gaze at the face of Moses, which is the God of this age, because on account of the glory of his face, which was to be brought to an end. How will the ministry of the Spirit not be of more glory? For if glory was in the ministry of condemnation, much more does the ministry of righteousness abound in glory. Anyone who sets their eyes on Moses in the old covenant, that contaminates and blinds you, does not let you see. The 10 Commandments, they're good for society. But if you look at them a lot, it'll kill you. Because that covenant was a covenant of death, to kill you, so you don't enjoy life. It says that God gave them statutes that they were not able to fulfill. But he had to make known what was evil. Because how would you have known that it was bad for your neighbor if the law didn't reveal it? But there's a problem that covenant, being good to maintain society normal and in order, has a problem, and it's that it blinds your understanding so that you do not know God. It doesn't allow for you to see. So the problem is that there are many promises for you, and you have to decontaminate yourself from the effects of death of that covenant.